do is widen up our knees, taking our hands in between our legs. Yeah, so if at any point this is uncomfortable, you can just take a nice seated position, or you can cross your legs. It will be a little bit more difficult because, as you've noticed, me sitting back on my heels, leaning on my hands, gives me a nice angle from my tailbone to the crown of my head. Taking a deep breath in here, I want you to elevate that spine and push into the floor that little bit more so you're not sinking down. Yeah, belly button is pulling in. You're going to take the back hand to your right ear. You're going to rotate the right elbow over to the ceiling. So we're going to start off nice and slow. This is a really nice rotation for the back, engaging the obliques, releasing any tension around your thoracic spine. And it really, really does aid and support your lower back. So if the other variations have caused some excessive rotation in your back, this really does support giving you that little bit of help without going through any aggravation or pain or restriction you may have. Good, just 3 more here. So hopefully the more and more you do this, the more and more you're going to find your rotation is a little bit easier, a little bit more fluid. Perfect. Dropping that right hand down, replacing the left ear over to the left shoulder ear. And we're going to open up, same thing. So the elbow is coming in nice and close, and we're going to rotate upwards. If you can, just be conscious about pulling in your navel towards the spine. And then figure out if you can just rotate that little bit more. So remember, none of this should be aggravating you. It just should be a nice gentle stretch. Beautiful. 2 more. Amazing. We're going to keep seated. And we're going to go into some seated cat-cows. And what I'm going to do is take my fingertips, interlace them behind my head, and then open up my chest. So I'm going to widen my elbows. I'm going to take my thumbs down at my neck. So taking a deep breath in, depending upon where you are, this is going to be your extension. This may be enough, right? We don't want to hyperextend. So we're just going to lift up our chest, look up to probably where the ceiling and the wall meet. And then exhale, you're going to draw the navel into the spine, round that back, and try and get your elbows towards one another. Now you might feel a pull at the back of the neck, completely normal, completely fine, but only go to where you feel this is enough. Open up the chest. Let's do that a couple more times. So broaden that chest, widen those elbows. Belly button is pulling in, elbows are close. Inhale, open. Exhale, round. Inhale, open. Exhale. Good, just 3 more like this. Hopefully you feel a little bit more loose around the back. And again, pulling in that navel, making sure it's helping us. Rounding up that back. Last one. Exhale. Inhale, broaden. Beautiful. Just relax those arms down. And we're going to go into, we're going to shift over onto our back. So sweep those feet forward. Feet hip distance, and we're going to roll over onto our back. So we're going to do single arm dead bugs. Now what I mean by that, our feet are going to be planted into the floor, our arms are going to raise up, push your lower back into the mat. So we want a nice neutral spine, something that can protect your back. Take a deep breath in, and we're going to extend and reach our right arm right up overhead. Try not to touch the mat, but you're going to reach as far back as you possibly can. Inhale, hand back up to neutral, and then extend that left arm back. Take a deep breath in, inhale, exhale, reach. As you're doing this, try not to let your rib cage flail out and up. So the whole point is you're trying to engage the transverse abdominals. You're pressing your feet into the mat, your lower back into the mat. You're going to have a slight curve in that mid back, which is completely natural, but then you're trying to depress your rib cage, so the back of your rib cage into the mat. You're going to feel a little bit more engagement around that core area. So something so simple does need to be executed quite well. By being aware of the feet are active, the feet are pushing into the mat, my glutes are working, my lower abdominals are pulling in, my top of the chest is pushing downward so I can feel my rib cage on the mat. Let's do one more on each side. So it's about stretching the arm, but really in contrast, pulling in the belly button. So drawing those hands down, let's give those arms a little bit of a break. And another core exercise is incorporating into our hips and glutes, yeah? So for those of you who've been with me, you're gonna know where we're going with this. Feet are pushing into the mat, engage the glutes, right? So I want you to get to a point where you can feel the glutes. You're about to raise up off the floor, but you're not leaving the floor. And this is where you're going to feel a slight tension. So what I mean by that is pushing all four corners into the mat, almost as if you're about to raise up. If you're shaking like me, great. It means your hamstrings and glutes are engaged. They are firing. Take a deep breath in here, and then we're going to push into the floor with our feet, and then just making sure you've got a point in your upper mid back, just below, just in between your shoulder blades, pushing into the ground too. So your hips are lifting up. It's your feet that are giving you the intensity to push into the ground. So a lot of people, let's just stay here for a couple more seconds. A lot of people push up with the navel, but we're missing the key component. We're missing utilizing the strong legs that we have, pushing into the ground, and that is what's lifting our hips up. Squeeze the glutes here for a couple more seconds, getting into the hamstring engagement, getting into the glutes, pulling that navel in towards the spine, lower down with control. And let's just windscreen wipe the legs just for a second. If you found any impact on your lower back, this just eases up any tension you may have created. Let's do that one more time. And again, we're gonna hold here for a couple more seconds, so feet planted into the floor. Before you raise up, squeeze the glutes, push those feet down. And I want you to almost, as if you're about to lift up, hold here. Again, thighs might be shaking, hamstrings might be giving you a little bit of a warning sign that, yep, I feel you, I know what you're doing. Glutes are now tingling and working. Beautiful. Now with all of your energy, all of your might, push down into the floor with those feet and engage the back to push into the ground. Lift up those hips, squeeze the glutes. We're going to stay here for a couple more seconds, so keep breathing here. Inhale and exhale. Again, focus on the backs of the legs, focus on the glutes, pushing the feet into the floor, all four corners, from the big toe to the little toe, to the outside of the heel, to the inside of the heel. Couple more seconds here, keep breathing. Beautiful. Lower down with control. And then we're just going to turn over to our side and come up to a plank position. So taking those hands underneath the shoulders and setting yourself up for success. So if you know that, okay, your arms are probably a little bit shaky with this one, bring those fingertips a little bit closer than you would normally. Or if you can, take those fingertips, so the thumbs, you're basically creating a W shape with the hands, yeah? So we want to make sure our fingertips are nice and wide, and our fleshy part of our palm, which is where our thumb and our forefinger are, index finger are pushing into the ground. Extend that right leg. extend that left leg. Now that we've got nice strong legs, we need them to support us in this position. So yes, it's about our arms, but our legs are keeping us strong into this hold position. So we're going to keep breathing here. I've got the timer on, so don't worry, I know where we're at. If your hips are hiking up a little bit too much, drop them down in alignment. So we've got from our tailbone to our shoulders to the crown of our head, and just look forward about 45 degrees with your gaze. Keep pulling that navel in, squeezing the glutes. We've only got 10 more seconds here. Stick with me. We get to go all the way down to the floor after this one. So 4, 3, 2. You can either lower down straight from a plank or drop your knees and then go all the way down to the floor. Keeping your hands where they are, they should be in line with your nipple, essentially. Feet are extended together, toes touching, forehead in line with the floor, and we're going to do a mini cobra. So small back extension, pull that navel in, draw those elbows towards your spine and hold here. Your gaze should be about 45 degrees. Now we're going to hold here and keep breathing. Pull those shoulders up, down and back, away from your ears. Draw the elbows towards midline and keep breathing. Keep extending those legs. The glutes are working. Keep breathing here. Couple more seconds. Beautiful. Lower down with control. And then switch over to your back. So we're going to go into some crisscross positions and work into the obliques. So we've done into the back extensor, we've gone into your anterior six-pack abs, and we're going to move into the crisscross, so your obliques now. Okay, so in this position, just want you to cross over your right ankle over to the left knee. Taking a deep breath in here, hands interlaced behind you. Inhale here, and then exhale, draw the elbow to the knee. Yeah? So try not to lift the leg up off the floor, but just bring the elbow to the knee, and the knee is pushing away from you. So I want you to almost imagine the elbow coming closer, and like a magnet, the knee is drawing away. So the aim isn't to connect the knee and the elbow. The whole point of this one is I want you to lengthen and rotate with the obliques. So you may feel this on your right side, and you most certainly will be able to feel the rotation in the left too, but we're pushing that knee away. So like a magnet, opposites are pushing away as they're coming closer. Let's do 3 more like this. Last one. Beautiful. Lower down with control. Just swap legs this time. So crossing that left leg over the right side. Drawing the knee away from midline. Inhale, lift up the head, neck, and shoulders. Rotate the right knee to the left. Sorry, right elbow to the left knee. Inhale, exhale, rotate. Inhale, exhale, rotate. So you may feel it is quite difficult to really proactively push the left knee away. You might feel your belly button is now drawing into the spine, into the mat. And we're protecting our neck here by giving that little bit of a cradle. Keep pushing that knee away. We've just got 3 more like this. 2, 1. Excellent, beautiful. Let's come over to the side this time, and we're going to go into a side plank with our knees down but our arms raised. So bend into the knees so that heels are coming towards our bum. Elbow is directly underneath our shoulder. Let's work a little bit more into the obliques this time. So hips are lifted, top arm raise, and we're going to hold here. Take a deep breath in. Reach with the top arm. If you can, gaze at the thumb and really make sure the top hip is rotating forward. So towards the screen. For me, it's towards the camera. Keep pulling that navel in. 10 more seconds here. For those of you who wanted to take it up a level, you can extend both. Or sorry, you can extend the top leg and then push down so you can get a little bit of an arch here. Last 5, 4, 3, keep pulling that navel in, lower with control. And before we go over to the other side, let's go back into our Cobra position. So we are going to take our arms alongside our nipples again and then extend the feet. So let's just set up here. So if you wanted to go back into the Cobra position, fine. For those of you who are coming with me, your back of the hands are now against the mat, forehead in line with the mat. Take a deep breath in, raise up your chest off the floor and your fingertips off the floor. So reach back. So we're going to hold here for a couple of seconds. Keep breathing, shoulders away from ears. Legs are engaged, so knees are off the floor, glutes are working, belly button is pulling up from the mat and forehead in line with the mat. So try not to crank up that neck too much. We want to try and keep our forehead in line with the mat. Keep breathing here. Traction those arms together, reaching back towards the heels, last 10 seconds. Squeeze, breathe. Focus that concentration, working that erector spinae muscle, and then lower with control. Beautiful. Push yourself back up. So we're going to go for our very last exercise, which is the opposite side of our side plank. Elbow down, knees are bent. If this is easy for you, stay here. Lift up. I say easy for you. It's all going to be quite hard when we're going into our progressions, right? Arms lift over if you can, rotate that top hip forward and pause. So we're going to hold here for a couple of seconds. And I just want you to keep pulling that navel in towards the spine, rotate that top hip forward. If, for example, you need that little bit more of a overarch, keep that bottom knee down. And I really want you to rotate that top hip forward as we create the length between our fingertip all the way to our toe. Hold it here. Keep breathing. This is a long one. So remember, we're setting up the foundation so we can progress it. Last 10 seconds. Keep going. Keep breathing, keep putting that navel in, keep squeezing the glutes, lengthening from the left foot to the left fingertips, and relax it back down. Whew. So hopefully you felt a little bit of work going on. We ended up